Niche large language models are based on transformer architecture, which build on and extend some techniques that have proven successful in modeling vocabularies to support natural language processes tasks. And transformer models are trained with large volumes of text. Like you can see on the screen there, like you get as much text and you're kind of training it. Like you can see there, you're putting code in, right, for a dog, right? You give it number 10, 3, 2, right? That represents your dog. Cat can be 10, 3, and 1, and a puppy then can be 5, 2, and 1. So that's your text, right? And see down the bottom then, like when my dog was, so you kind of input the prompt there into that, and output a puppy. You know what I mean? My dog was, at 6 months or 3 months, he was a puppy or whatever like that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of whatever you put in there is what you're going to get out. So it encodes it and decodes it. So it's kind of complex. So I don't want to kind of put people off. So you just carry on anyway with the large language models. So organizations and developers can train their own language models from scratch, but in most cases, it's more practical to use an existing foundational model, an opportunity, to fine tune with your own training data, right? There are many sources of models that can be used. So on Microsoft Azure, right, you have Azure OpenAI service, right? It includes curtailed sets of models for OpenAI hosted on Azure, right? This offers the benefit of cutting-edge language models like generative pre-trained transformers. That's like stands for, we've all heard of ChatGPT. Collections of models. Microsoft's own generative AI service are based as well on DALL-E models. They're for generating images, like Microsoft Designer that uses that type of AI. So as you can see there, you can train your own language models, I said, from scratch. And OpenAI is the big one there. So as you can see on the picture on the screen, right? Huggy Faces, Minstrel, Meta, Databricks, others. There's loads of them, and there's more coming all the time. So large language models, LLMs, these are powerful generative AI applications, right? And general language models can be considered in two categories, right? You can have large language models, LLMs, and then there's small language models, SLMs. LLMs are trained with vast quantities of text that represent a wide range of general subject matters. Like I think when Microsoft started off OpenAI, they used something like the Wall Street Journal. Now got a whole database from and put loads of data in, so that was classed as a large language model. So examples are Chat or OpenAI, ChatGPT 4, Minstrel 7B, Meta, Llama 3. So they're the kind of examples of the LLMs. And then we have the small language models, right? They're trained with focused text data. I think these are kind of ones that you can actually run on your own kind of laptop at home. So you'll see a lot of laptops coming out now with co-pilots built into them. They have these new chips, and I think Dan is going to be telling us about some of those there later. So we won't spoil that. So next we're on to co-pilots, right? We've all seen co-pilots built into the Edge has built into it at the moment. It's also built into Microsoft M365. And so you can use it in Word, you can use it in Excel, you can use it in PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote. And there's lots of other ones. So what is Copilot? Generative AI powered assistant integrated into applications, often as a chat interface, like a chatbot. So they provide contextual support for common tasks. Like we'd say, a good example there now for Outlook. I could have done with it there when I came back from holidays recently. You could, if you were away on holidays and a lot of emails in your Outlook were building up, and next you come back and you have 1,000 emails, you could go into Copilot in Outlook and you could just say, summarize my emails and give me the most important ones first. So if there's anything very important, it will pull it out, summarize it for you. So that's kind of an example of that. So just move on to the next part of it. Okay, so levels of Copilot adoption, right? Can unlock productivity across your business with Microsoft Copilot. Use Copilot to optimize the way you work in tools you use every day. Like I just gave you one example there, Outlook, right? It empowers employees to be more creative, spend less time on mundane tasks and more on high impact activities. So it's going to help us a lot in the office space. So extend Microsoft Copilot for your business with plugins, right? So you have to have a Microsoft M365 account first, and then you pay another subscription, I think around $20 to get your Copilot integrated into it. You can get actionable insights from your own data and systems in productivity apps, right? You can build third-party plugins so your customers can use your services in M365, right? You can build custom co-pilots of your own. You can integrate generative AI into custom workloads and apps, create compelling customer experience and commercial products, and you'd have full control over your design and development. So that's there. We got the Copilot inside in your browser, right? So web browsing with AI. I'm not sure, Dan, if we got somebody else that wants to speak with us this week, or so I don't take up all the time. So in your browser, right, you can use Copilot to answer questions, right, and create content and search the web. So there you got the copilot.microsoft.com, and you can chat with Copilot when searching for the web, like just go into www.bing.com, and up on the top right hand corner, then you can see where the Copilot is. And when you click it, it expands out and you can see where you can actually type in stuff. You can also use voice to interact with it. So definitely go and check that one out. So when you browse with Microsoft Edge, right, Copilot is on the top right. As I said, you can open Copilot in the pane on the right hand side, or you can move it over to the left, wherever you're comfortable with. Um, you can use it, content in your organization, your data and services. It can enable assistance with internal resources and information. Just moving on. As I say, Microsoft Copilot for 365, right? It's an AI assistant for information workers, right? You can write, edit, analyze documents. So, like, if you've got a big document there now, a Word document, and it's a couple of thousand words or something like, and you don't have much time to read down through the whole lot, you can just open it up in Word, go up to the Copilot, and you can just tell it summarize the document. You know what I mean? So instead of having thousands of words, you just have it summarized down into a paragraph, and there you go. So it's very good for doing PowerPoint presentations. At the start there, when I was doing some PowerPoints, you'd ask it to make a PowerPoint presentation about a topic. One of them that I done was, I said, make it a PowerPoint presentation on water conservation. So that was the only two words I had to put in: water conservation. And I got back a nice 10 slide deck. So it done everything about water, how to save water. Do you know what I mean? And the first slide was actually very good. It gave me a picture of actually moving water. It was like a GIF. So that's a nice start to the presentation. You can actually see live water in the thing. If we have time, I might show you some examples of it later. Just 1 second there now. So we have Stephen is with us. So I'm just going to carry on with this. So yeah, Copilot is integrated into Dynamic 365 supply chain as well. It's used to manage purchase orders, which is very good. And next one, so Microsoft Copilot, managing IT infrastructure and security. So you can use Copilot in the Azure portal, right, to design, operate, optimize, and troubleshoot cloud infrastructure. It can actually look at all your code. It can write JSON scripts. So you just give it the right parameters, and it'll give you the code. Brilliant for doing that. The other one there, right, you can use Microsoft Copilot for security as a standalone security portal, or you can embed it into security tools to assist and respond to security threats. So, AI is helping a lot now with cybersecurity, which is great, because we hear so many stories about stuff happening. So just moving on, Microsoft Copilot in Fabric, and it's in Power BI as well. So you can use Copilot with Microsoft Fabric to write the code needed to analyze and manipulate and visualize your data. And then we can use Copilot in Microsoft Power BI to create interactive visual reports from your data, which is very good. So I just want to try and get through all these slides. Okay, so GitHub has Copilot as well. It's AI-powered software development, right? GitHub enhances software developer productivity, right, by analyzing, explaining code. So it actually stick in your code there on the left hand side, and you see over on the right hand side then it will actually tell you kind of a story about what the actual code is all about, which is very good today. Like, you know, instead of looking at a bunch of code, you can see over in the right hand side what the actual file does, which is great for people who are not developers, so they can look at code and see what it actually does. So generate new code based on natural language prompts. So you, as I said earlier, the prompt, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So, and Microsoft have a prompt lab as well. So you can go in there and you can get examples of prompts and stuff like that. So that's the GitHub one. Considerations for Copilot prompts. You're going to hear loads about prompts all the time because that's what you're going to get out. I think there is a new job at the moment, and it's called prompt engineer. So it's an engineer's job, like to come up with these prompts to get whatever we want out of Copilot, right? So some considerations for adopting Copilot described in this document. For example, corporate executives, right? Like I was saying earlier, format the summary, 6 bullet points. So like if you had a document and you just wanted 6 bullet points, you just say, summarize this document and give me 6 bullet points for it, okay? So it can do all that kind of stuff. While some Copilots provide buttons and other visual tools to interact with the language model, often you will see a Copilot typing or speaking natural language prompts. I know there's a new, like we're talking about generative AI now. I heard of a new one there that's out. I think one of Microsoft's competitors have it, and it's called an agent, generative agent. So it's kind of geared up like a chatbot. So if you ordered something, we say like on Amazon, they've got this agent that can actually not just give a response to a prompt, say like, where is my package? It can actually ask you first to verify who you are, ask you your name, address, probably date of birth, and might even send you text message to your phone for multi-factor authentication. But once they verify who you are, it'll interact with you and try and give you the best response. So it's really getting more exciting, this AI space. So that's an agent, and it'll make up its own mind as well. It's kind of not just working on the prompt, it will actually do stuff for you as well. So moving on, extending and developing Copilots. Choosing a Copilot development tool, right? So you got Copilot Studio, and then you got Azure AI Studio. So the first one, Copilot Studio, is the low code development of Copilots and plugins using Azure OpenAI models for generative AI. Fully managed, hosted SaaS, software as a service, dialogue and conversation orchestration, and built-in analytics with security and governance control, deployed to common chat channels like web apps, social channels, and Teams. So the other one then is your Azure AI Studio. It's a pro code development with full catalog of models, of fine-tuning capabilities, integrated Azure AI services and cloud infrastructure, prompts and model orchestration, evaluation engines, to test performance, reliability, scalability, and responsible AI safety, which is very important. Deploy as an endpoint in Azure for use in custom apps and services. So that's those two studios there in with Copilot. So they give you a kind of an exercise here, right? So it's 40 minutes. We're having it on the slide, so we're not going to do anything with that. And that's just a summary then. So generative AI uses large language models to interpret natural language and generate new content. Co-pilots are generative AI assistants that provide contextual support in applications. Organizations can empower users by adopting Microsoft Copilots across multiple products and services. You can extend Microsoft Copilots to create custom Copilots and Copilot Studio. Just before I hand it over to Dan, I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration there of PowerPoint. PowerPoint is kind of one of my favorite ones. So let me see now. Here we go. So I'm inside in PowerPoint here, and I just change accounts there now. Okay, so I'm just going to open up a blank presentation. Okay, so up in the top right hand corner, we've got our Copilot here. And you can see it here on the left as well, right? Create a presentation about. I'm just going to click on the Copilot here on the right hand side. And it's given us a couple of things, right? Create a presentation from a file. It's given us create a presentation about the benefits, right? That's an example, the benefits of mediating every day. And there's another one then, understand what are data and deadlines in the presentation. Okay, so and this gives us another one, understand key slides in this deck. Okay, so and it gives me another one, chat history. So I haven't been in this PowerPoint now for over a week, and this is new. I haven't seen this yet. So every time you go into something new or into M365 with Copilot, they're adding new stuff all the time. So down the end here then, we've got view prompts. As I was telling you there earlier, prompts is everything you put in is what you're going to get out. So I'm just going to show you this one here before we move on. So if we click on view prompts, it gives you a few here, create, edit, ask, or the other one here, right, view more prompts. So I'm just going to go in there just to show you what I was talking about there, about the prompts. So it gives you one here, create a presentation from a file, extract key information, right, that's about summarizing a presentation, add a slide, stay on track. But down on the bottom here, right, it says see all prompts. So I'm just going to click into that one just to give you an idea what I was talking about. So it brings us to this website, and this is the Copilot lab. Okay, so it's copilot.cloud.microsoft. And this one here gives you all the type of prompts, you know, if you were, we'd say up in the top here on the left, if you wanted to say, right, we're going to do PowerPoint. So I'm going to click on PowerPoint here. So it gives us all different things about PowerPoint then, right? So create a technology presentation. So if you wanted to do that, or add a slide, extract information. So I'll click on the next drop down here, right? So what we want to do is we're going to create. So I'm just going to hit on create and see, it kind of gets rid of some of the stuff, filters it out. And over here then is the job type, right? So what do you want to do something about? So I'm just going to hit on energy, okay? So just clicked on energy. So look, it gave me a couple of things here. Summarize 2 email bullet points, write blog posts about something. It kind of guides you through what you want, what you want to do. So I'll just click off of that one here and we'll go manufacturing just to see what it gives us then. Didn't really change much there, stayed the same. But look, there's frequently asked questions down here anyway, and that's kind of overview of the prompt. So we're just going to go back here to where the presentation was. And down here, so we're going to click on, we want to create. So it says, when I click on create there, it gives me create a presentation about. Okay, so what were we talking all along about? Co-pilots and generative AI. So I'm going to ask it to create a presentation about Microsoft Copilot. All right, create a presentation about Microsoft Copilots. Right, and then I'm just going to hit on the enter button, or you can hit the enter on the key. So we'll just see how many. Before it used to give us about 6 slides, but it's more advanced now, and it all depends on the topic as well, how many slides you get back. So Microsoft Copilots is fairly big. You saw the slides I had earlier. So we'll see what the actual Copilot gives us. Okay, so here we are in the space of less than a minute. It's after giving us 9 slides, okay? So there it's giving us Microsoft Copilot's the future of coding, okay? We agree with that. Okay, so it's telling us presentation over introduction to Copilots, how Microsoft Copilots work. Okay, we're just moving on. And what are Microsoft Copilots? It's telling us AI power tool. Yeah, we know that. Context and requires based suggestions. So that's all the prompts that you write into it. It uses machine learning. Yeah, we agree with that. Right, so it's giving us an overview there. And another good thing here, right? I'll just pull up from the bottom. It actually gives you speaker's notes as well. See that down the bottom, speaker's notes? And let's move on to the next slide, how Copilot works. Okay, it's GPT, we know that. Chat language models, I went through that earlier. And just move on to the next slide, right? It's giving us the advantages, increase efficiency, yes, improve accuracies, yeah, we agree with that. Next one, increased efficiency. Okay, so it's breaking down into different sections. And then improved accuracy, conclusion. So I'll read out, Microsoft is a groundbreaking tool that has transforming the way developers write code. And we saw that with GitHub there earlier, by providing intelligent suggestions for code completion. Microsoft Copilots can increase the efficiency and improve accuracy. As an AI continues to transform the software development process, Microsoft Copilot is a tool that no developer should be without. So on that, Dan, I'll hand it over to you. And
yeah, that was a nice presentation. Yeah, okay.
thanks.
Yeah, I think I need to come out of my shell and start doing co-pilot now because I won't start and I just keep on. Yeah, I think because I'm just preparing for my M365 exams, so maybe probably after that I really need to get my hands on Copilot. Yeah, that's nice. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, I can see your screen there. The Surface Pro 11. Nice. Dan, you're still on mute there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Hopefully now there isn't an echo. So this is a Surface Pro 11th edition. And we can see that my Surface Pro 11 has a Snapdragon 12 core X, I guess that's an I. I need to zoom in on my screen here. X1E 80100 processor. It's a Snapdragon. This is the first processor that I am aware of that Microsoft didn't co-brand with the Snapdragon Qualcomm group. In the Surface Pro X and the Surface Pro 9, the processor was called the SQ1 and was co-developed with Qualcomm as well as Microsoft. This is the first version that I'm aware of where Microsoft has just said, let's use a standard, if you will, Qualcomm chip. And they had a number of other OEM vendors come out with these same types of chips. But what they did with the Surface Pro 11th edition is they released a keyboard that now has a battery in it. So the keyboard that I'm actually using to navigate, to minimize things, to bring up the Microsoft Paint application doesn't have to be attached to my Surface anymore, which is perfect for situations like this. I'm using a standing desk. Maybe I want to relocate myself away from my Surface. I can use the ultra wide angle lens and do things like have my Surface with the studio effects find where I'm standing within a particular space. So under, what did they put this under? I think it's under studio effects. Animation effects. Let's see if it's under studio or Windows. Windows Sandbox. What do we call it? Eye contact. Thought it was right in here, but I don't see it now. Here it is. Other devices, pen pressure. They keep on moving stuff around. Well, anyways, there's three things that the Surface Pro does. I think I can find this in settings. That might be where they put everything, is in settings. If I search for eye contact, default settings for my cameras, there's essentially an eye contact capability as well in the Surface Pro 9, 10, and 11. And then the other thing that they've introduced is this image creator and co-creator within Microsoft's Paint application. So I have the ability to either co-create similar to Microsoft Designer, where I can say create a Azure cloud graphic. Let's see if it cares about my spelling, which is incorrect. Here, style, watercolor, creativity. And let's see if I can get this to fire off here. It doesn't look like it's letting me hit enter. The other thing that I should mention is that I'm in one of the insider previews on this Surface Pro 11th edition. So I may be actually dealing with a bug in this version of the operating system. And the way that I handle that is I can either in settings, go see if I have any Windows updates waiting for me, newer builds of Windows 11, or I can take myself out of the Windows Insider program and essentially reset this device, which it might be needing some, and this is obviously some bugs because this PC not only meets the minimum requirements, but then some. So I am on a very early build. I'm on the earliest build I have access to in the Canary channel. You can also do the dev channel, the beta channel, which is the recommended, or the release preview, which shows me the things like Microsoft's recall when available on the Surface Pro 11. So besides that, the other thing, Frank, that I think we should highlight is the fact that we asked a number of people while you were on vacation to do you a little favor, and that was to write you some LinkedIn recommendations, which I believe you saw at least a few of those on LinkedIn today. I hope that came as a surprise after your vacation. I think you're on mute, Frank.
Yeah, that was a great surprise.
Oh, and I've got my volume turned down.
I'd like to thank
figure out what tab I should open up.
Amelia,
There we go.
Joseph, and Lance for 3 great recommendations. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm happy some folks were able to spend some time writing those for you because you deserve it.
Appreciate that, Dan.
And Stephen, I left you about, it looks like 15 to 20 minutes here to wrap us up. If you'd like to present, you're more than welcome to.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that. So quickly, let me just share my screen. A second. Okay, so let's share my screen. Okay, on screen.
Thanks, Lance, for the comment there. So we're waiting for Stephen's desktop. There you go.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. So what can you see now?
Yeah, conditional access. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So quickly, that's because of our time, our test series, just want to brush this. So I just want to speak on just conditional access as a block access by location, as like we all know how you block access by location using conditional access. It's a conditional access policy is a tool that essentially works within an if then statement. That word if then, so which means that when you place a condition and say, okay, if this XYZ does not meet, then what should happen? So that is what conditional access simply means. So it's an if then statement to make decisions and enforce organizational policy. So it's to make and what enforce that policy. So which means that you have to do it, otherwise that policy will be enforced on that user. So say, for example, if a user wants to access an application or service like Microsoft 365 from an untrusted location, block access. So you can do that to block access if you don't want user to access the company application from unwanted location, just to guide against just for security purpose. Now we have prerequisite for this, so you can do it with your Microsoft Entra ID P1, and we have the and if you have the conditional access administrator role, so you can also perform this, or the global administrator role. Now the importance of this is just to identify control identity control. You understand? So it's just to what identity control. So we can control who use our resources in the location they are. So they don't just go to any location and just feel because, oh, I'm working from home, so I can move out of the UK and then work. So it depends on the organization policy anyway. So it's just to for identity control, and then protect organization assets. So which is very important. You protect the organization assets and then enable users to be productive. Okay, it enables user to be productive. So if a user knows that the company policy is blocking a particular location, which means that you cannot access any. So definitely, if they are working from home, they will not definitely leave leave their country. I mean, you probably just say, oh, I want to go, I just want to travel. I can work from where I am as long as I'm working from home. So just to make them be productive. Now, how does it work? It says signal collection. So this collects what signals, then policy evaluation. Then it evaluates that policy that has been set, and then decision making, and then enforcement before it now makes what the enforcement. So conditional access policy by location is a security measure that restricts access to resources based on geographic location of the user. So the location condition is commonly used to block access from countries, regions where your organization knows traffic shouldn't come from. Okay, so it has the benefits, how the conditional access by location works: identify trusted location, user location detection, evaluation access rule, enforce access policy. And this benefit, like I said earlier on, is to enhance security, then compliance, and then you manage risks, which is the risks management. Okay, so in conclusion, conditional access by location is a powerful tool for enhancing security by controlling where user can access system and data, thus helping it mitigate risks associated with unauthorized access and cyber threat. Okay, so quickly now I will jump to the demo. So I'm just going to open my portal, which is I have my okay, let me bring in my okay. So sorry, can you see my admin portal?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this I have my admin portal here open, so which is your admin.microsoft.com. Okay, so from there, what you need to do is you come up here and then click on your identity. So when you click on the identity to enforce that, so you now come up here, you have protection. So come to protection. Now when you now come to protection, you now click on conditional access. So when you click on that conditional access, then you now come up here, you have your name, location. That is what we want to do. We want to what? Restrict access for a particular word location. So it might be applied to the whole users. It might be applied to just selected set of users. And some organization, the policy might say, okay, don't apply it on the executives. So in that case, those executives have to be in a different group, so that that policy shouldn't be applied to them in the organization. Okay, so now if I click on this, my name location, like I said, so I'll click on countries location. I'll click on that. Now here I will now come up here and now give it a name. I'll give it a name. So let me just give it, let me say restrict location. So now what location do I want to restrict? You come up here, you have search countries. You have a lot of countries there. So you have a lot. Okay. So like I said, depending on the organization policy, and maybe the policy organization says that no user should access our resources outside certain location. You understand? So if they are traveling to that particular location, maybe there might be like a different I mean a different arrangement for them. So if the manager is aware, so relate it to the IT. Okay, I have this, my user is going to be working in this particular location. So in case if that location has been blocked, so we'll know how to work out that for that particular user. So here I'm going to be using United Kingdom. So sorry, yeah, US, United States. So I'll click on I want to block location from this United States, and we're going to test it and see how it works. So I'll click on that and I'll click on create. Now, once I click on create, that has been created for me. You can see it now. This location has been created for me. Now, but here you can see it said not configured. Okay. So if you click on this place now, there are different ways you can create either by IP address, either the IP address of that location. Though, so it depends. So I just decide to do by country. Okay. So once you do that, you now come back here and click on your policy. Come up here and click on policy. Click on the policy. So when you click on your policy, you now come up here and click on new policy. Click on new policy. So here you now give it a name. So what name do I want to give it? I can say block unwanted location. So like I usually say, it's very, very important in an organization to understand how things are being named, either your resources or anything, because it, like I usually say, it's good you name your resources very well so that when you leave that organization, whoever comes after you will understand what has been done there, how to carry it on. And I believe most organization has name the way they have their naming convention, which is actually very important. So I'm just going to give it this name. This is CA, which is conditional access 01 block unwanted location. So here I'll come to users, where I have my users. Now I'll click on these users here. I'll click on that. Now when I click on this my users, now I have include and I have exclude. Now I have under this include, I have all. So I have none, all users, selected users. Okay. So for now, for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to be clicking on what all users. So you can decide to say, okay, from some selected users. Okay. So I'll be saying what all users for now. And then here I'll click on my exclude to come and exclude my own account as the admin so that I don't get locked out. Okay. So come up here. I'll now come up here, type my own the global administrator. I want to exclude the global administrator. So I'll click on this. So I think this should be my yes, yeah. So I'm going to be excluding the global administrator, but I want to apply to what? To all the users, but just exclude this. Okay. So like I said earlier on, if you want to exclude the executives, so you don't want to block them, so those ones you put them like in a different group, and then you come up here and you select and you exclude them so that that policy will not be effective on the executive, okay, in the organization. So when you now do that, you now come up and you have your target resources. Target resources. So you click on this target resources. Now, what am I trying to target? All the apps. Or I can decide to say selected apps. Maybe I just want to select my M365. I'll come up here. I'll say, okay, if I say I want to exclude the Office 365, you can see that. So you can click on that. But for this purpose, I will say all cloud applications. So that is what I want to that is my target. Okay, I want to include everything, all, or you say none. So I say all, exclude, just I don't want to exclude. I want to what? Include everything. So when you do that, then the next thing you now come to where you have your network. Network. You can see here you have new. So you click on this configure now, and you now click on yes because it's on no. So here you now come up here. Now, what do you want to include? You have any network or location, trusted network and locations. So if you click on exclude, you can do that. But here I want to click on my include, and here I will now click on selected network. Then that will now make me to now choose that particular name, location, and restrictor, which is that US. Okay. So you click on selected network and location, and then you come up here, you click on that particular name location that you actually want restricted. So click on that. Now, once you do that, that gets populated. Then the next thing, you now come to where you have access control. Access control. Here you now have grant. Click on this, and from this place, I'll now say block. Okay, block, and then you can decide to say, okay, grant access, but with conditional access. But this time around, we want to what? Block. Either you have your multi-factor authentication being about the most important is that we want to what? Block location. We want to block user from that location. Okay, so click on that, and I'll click on select. So once you do that, you will now come up here where you have enable policy. Enable policy. Here you have reports only, on and off. So when you leave it on this report only, so it means that the policy is active, it's just open there, but it's not yet effective on the users. It's just like on the preview. Okay, and then you now have this on. So when you put it on automatically, when you click on create, you understand? So it will apply to that to those users automatically. But in a case where a user has been signed, because that is why it's good when you are creating your when you are implementing your design organization. So these are things you have to factor into, you understand? So if eventually maybe I created this policy and some user already working, I already have a user in that particular location. So when that user log out and they try to log in again, that policy will be applied on them automatically. Then you can decide to turn off the policy if you want to on the long run. So I'll click on, and then, but at times I love to leave it on this and then click on create, then go back and then put it on. But because of our time, I'll click on this on, I'll click on create. Now that has been created for me automatically. Okay, this has been created for me automatically. But now, how do I know if this policy is effective on this user? So I will go to my user now. Here, click on this user. Under here, I'll pick a particular user. Let me see. Okay, so let me go back to my admin. Come up here, pick a particular user with a license. Remember that user must have license. Okay, this my user has a license. Let me pick this first user, and I don't know the password. Let me just reset the password of that user. Click on reset password, and then I will copy that password now. So once I do that, now I've reset that user. I want to use that particular user. But before then, now, like I said, I am in the United Kingdom. Now, how do I want to know? If you come up here now, if you type my location, just say mylocation.com, you see it's definitely telling me the country where I am. So if I come up here on my browser and I try to log into that that user will be logging automatically because of what? I'm United Kingdom, and where I restricted was just United States. So therefore, I have a particular VM I have created in my Azure, which I'm going to bring out now and then log into that. Okay, so this is my VM. If you look at this particular VM now, this is my Azure VM. If you look at this location now, the location of this VM is East US. So I'm going to be testing that user with this East US. So I think this is my Windows 11. So now let me connect to this VM. Let me log in, connect, and then I will test to see if that particular policy will be effective on that user. Okay, so I'll connect here and then put in my password. Let me try and get my password. I hope I've not forgotten the password. Okay, yeah. So I'll click on OK. So, but I'm sorry, like I'm just trying to rush because of time. So I already have the video on my YouTube channel, which I've done the video that so in case if you are lost, you can go to my channel and then watch it. So I'll click on yes, and then I will log into this particular. Okay, the VM is coming. Yeah, so this is the VM. Now, remember that we have seen the location of this VM. This VM is in what? United States. And the location we actually restricted for our user to log in is from that United States. So now let's the VM load, and I'll try to log in with that user, and I will see if that okay, I just spin this VM, so I've not used it. Okay, now this is my yes. Continue. Start with that. Continue. Okay, so I let me just close this browser. Okay, so now I'm going to open my browser. This is my Edge browser. I'll open that Edge browser. Now let me type again my location. So you see where this browser location is. Click on my location. So when you do that, you can see that the location of this VM is what? United States. So just for you to be aware of that. Now I'll come up here and type office.com. Let's assume this user is now trying to log into this Office application. So now I'm going to enter that email address of that user. Click on next, and then I'm going to put in the password of that user and click on next and click on sign in, and let's see if I am going to be allowed to go in. Now, can you see that now? Why was this user denied from logging in? Because he is actually in the wrong location, not in the wrong location, in the location that has been restricted for users. Sorry, why is my VM shutting down? Okay, so that's for all that. I don't know why the VM just shut down. All right, so
Success.
that is actually how you can restrict users by location using your the conditional access was. Okay, so I hope you've learned something within the short period
Yeah,
of time. Thank you.
yeah. At least you got the demo done and it worked.
Yeah, thank you.
How you doing, Sina?
Hey,
Hi,
Sina.
Asia, how you doing? It's nice seeing you.
Hi, Frank. I'm good, thank you. Hello, Stephen. Hi, Dan.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, thank you.
I got this really cool Clippy chain
Ah,
uh, from my community manager, Betsy Weber, gave me this in Detroit. So
Oh,
I
cool.
represent Clippy today.
Sina, you were going
Actually,
to.
I was thinking that, yeah, I was thinking here it is in Bahrain. It's 10 p.m. So I was
Oh,
thinking the time is, yeah, the time is in 10 p.m. we will start. So it's a 9 p.m. I think, yeah.
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 okay.
1 hour
So,
ago you have started, right? Yes.
yeah. So it's 8 p.m. here now in Ireland and the UK.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you can say yeah, 8 p.m. Yeah,
Yeah.
So then that is, yeah, 1 hour difference we are having.
Okay.
yeah. I think
So
by 27th of October, the time is going to change in the UK. Yeah, 1 hour difference. Yeah,
yeah.
That's true. We're coming up on those dates.
yeah,
Frank, I'm happy to stick around if you need to.
No, no, I'm good. If
Yeah,
Sina,
I wasn't sure.
if Sina wants to do a
Yeah,
presentation, do you want to share your screen, Sina?
Yeah, a small demonstration
Yeah.
about some of the features.
You
Yeah.
know, do you know up on the top of the screen there, you can actually add your own channel to it. If you
you have
if
to
you
sign in. You have to sign in to StreamYard, but if you're signed in with an email account, you can add up to 2 channels: YouTube, your LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is that. Oh, okay.
we can do that
Uh,
next week if it's
yeah,
it is like you're saying about the streaming this to the audience.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but here it is. Yeah, it is showing limited. Okay, now maximum it is covered.
Okay. It might be, maybe we hit a limit, Frank, or something.
Yeah, the stream has reached the maximum number of guest destinations.
Okay, so we might do it another week, Sina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to share your screen there with us.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, it's coming up there now. I'll add it to the stage. Yeah, here we go.
Perfect.
Okay. Yes, today I'm going to present about a new feature, which is a preview feature in US region now. This is about a code view in Power Apps or in Canvas apps. So firstly, I'm going to create an app by using Start with Copilot option. So here I'm clicking Start with Copilot option for that. Oh, just taking some time, just it's slow.
I had at least 2 or 3 things that I couldn't find in my demo.
I think it is a bit slow. Just refresh again.
Do you want to close it and open it back again? The computer mode, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Still it is. So
Yeah.
it's not moving from the screen. Yeah. It's not showing anything. Yeah, just coming.
There it goes.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, you can see it.
Okay. So here I'm going to create a table. So firstly, it will ask for create table. So these tables are the Dataverse tables, which is available in Power Platform itself. You don't need to create. You don't need to have a separate data source for this. Okay, it is inbuilt in Power Apps. So here I'm asking to create a sales table. So it will create some multiple tables like, okay, so what are the related tables for this scan? So uh, let it create. And it will show the relationships between the tables as well if there is, yeah, exactly. So 3 tables it has been created. Product table, one is customer and sales. Then these tables having some dummy data as well, and you can see there is relationship between, okay, between the tables as well. So here it is. Okay, if you want to edit, okay, like sales to product, it is a many to one relationship, and here also it's a many to one relationship because sales, sales can be have multiple products, right? So here I'm going to add one more table named customer. So this is just showing like, okay, how can we add if we have multiple tables already in our Dataverse source, then how can we add another table? So here by using Copilot. So here it is. I'm just asking Copilot to add a table for customer. Sorry, customer is already there. Sorry. I'm just deleting this. Add a table for country. So here it is the country. So it is a separate entity, as a separate entity has been created. So if we want to establish a connection, a relationship between the tables, for example, like from sales to country, we can drag a relationship like this way. Then here it is, okay, relationship type by default many to one and one to many is there. So here we're going to take many to one, and then here the display name you can provide, it is mandatory. So here it is, many to one relation, and then that's done. So here it is. Okay, now we are having four tables as a backend and going to create an app. So by using these four tables, now here save and open app. Now it is going to build an app, a Canvas app, by using this Dataverse source. Now here you don't need to separately add any data source connection or and separately add any screens. Okay, so this is an example, kind of like you can import some screens along with some tables and all. You can edit later. So once it has been completed, this process. Sometimes this environment is a bit slow.
StreamYard has music. Maybe we could maybe we could play music while we wait.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think literally Microsoft. I think some of their
Yeah.
results. I think there's been some delay. So I think yesterday I think they had issue with what is it called, time expiration on the OneDrive stuff. So it wasn't showing where you can make it expire, something like that. So
Yeah, I can't tell if it's refreshing either.
Yeah, I think you should refresh it. It should be
There it
fine.
goes. There it
It is
it's
still,
refreshing.
it is.
Yeah.
Or you might probably want to close this tab of this incognito mode and open another one and then try it again.
It is again. We have to start it again. Like
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. It would be like that. Okay, if you go again.
Yeah.
Today this environment is very slow actually. Daytime also I have tried some apps development and all, but
It's thinking about something.
I think something is coming.
Yeah.
Just
We're so used to things just coming so quickly now. We get impatient. Used to be this was normal. You'd wait, 10 minutes, 13, 15.
Yeah,
this is actually not new.
because most of the Microsoft 365
If it takes too much time, then shall I show this demo next week?
Yeah, you're welcome to see if we can troubleshoot it, or we can do it next week, whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yes. Sorry for this.
No.
No problem. It happens to us all.
Yeah.
I had to abandon a few demos sometimes as well, and so
Yep.
come back to it next week.
it can get hooked sometimes. I think, like Stephen mentioned, I observed that also when I was trying to open the Entra Admin Center today. It took a very long time to open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But not all the time. Not all the time it will happen. Like, okay, very few times only this. But it is very much slow. Today it is.
Yeah, maybe that's
Open
our,
when you are not on the live show, it will just open and you say, "Hey, why didn't you open when we were there?"
yes.
Yeah. Can be frustrating at times when you just refuse to work. Yeah.
Okay, so Joseph, you were doing an anchor on another show.
Yeah, I had to quickly jump on here when that one was over. I just wanted to see Frank because it's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah. I was traveling a bit for the 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Frank, how was the trip? Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful, like up around Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
There's a
yeah.
cruise, right?
yeah, it was a cruise ship.
Nice.
What?
Went up to 3 stops in Norway, and then we went down to Kiel in Germany. We took a bus trip into Lübeck in Germany.
Okay.
Was it cold over there?
Hmm?
Was it cold over there?
It was 26 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, in
That's
Germany.
wild.
Yeah.
That should be the same. That should be the same temperature as ours then. Because
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's Celsius.
Yeah. These Fahrenheit in America then.
Yes. Yes. It's probably, I would say it's probably 80 today, 75, 80. It's really humid. It was really hot playing pickleball this morning. And I didn't wear my chain.
I've been staring at that since Daniel. Where did you get this from?
This is from Betsy Weber. This is from my community manager, my MVP lead, and she made this on her 3D printer. So she did the chain and she did the clippy, and said this was for me. So I thought,
wow, it makes it look
I will wear this proudly.
So Dan, I'll end the
Great. Look at it now. You have most of the Microsoft colors there.
I love the colors.
That's good. Yeah.
It's easier than the beard.
Yeah.
The beard takes time and then it's messy.
Yeah.
So look, I'll end the live recording, and thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back here again next week at the same time. And,
Thank you.
And Sina will be doing her demo next week again.
Yes, I will do first.
Very good.
Don't worry. Yeah. Hopefully everything goes smooth that day. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.